I am 78 years old, and I have a school photo of my daughter that I have never opened. It sits on my kitchen table right now, still in the envelope. The one the school sends home in 3rd grade. The kind you're supposed to mail to grandparents. Stick on the refrigerator. Tuck into your wallet. Hers has been at the bottom of my work bag for 22 years. The envelope is yellow now. The corners are soft from rubbing against my laptop charger. My folders. My quarterly reports. It went to hundreds of meetings. It flew across the country 17 times. It sat under fluorescent office lights for 2 decades. She never knew I had it. I never told her. My dog knew when I was sad. He'd put his head on my knee before I even knew it myself. My daughter doesn't know how I take my coffee. 2 sugars, always has been. She's never had reason to find out. You think I'm talking about someone else right now? I'm not. Keep listening. I was 31 years old when I decided I had figured out fatherhood. I remember the exact feeling. I had just gotten a corn office. My name was on the glass in black vinyl letters. I stood outside that door for a full minute just reading it. My name on a door. And I thought, this is it. This is what love looks like. Not hugs. Not bedtime stories. This, the corn office. The name on the glass. The paycheck that meant my kids would never want for anything. I genuinely believed that. I want you to understand that. I wasn't a villain. I wasn't a cold man. I was a man who had decided, somewhere deep in his chest, that presents was for fathers who couldn't provide. That the ones who stayed home for dinner were the ones who didn't have anywhere better to be. I had somewhere to be. I was building something. For them, always for them. I can still smell that first briefcase. Brand new leather. I bought it to match the office. Carried it every single day for 11 years, until the handle cracked. I worked 80-hour weeks for 9 years straight. I told myself my kids were proud of me. I told myself they understood. I told myself that when they were older, when they were grown, and the mortgage was paid and the college funds were full, they would look back and they would get it. They would say, "He did that for us." They never said that. What they said at my retirement dinner was very kind, very prepared. My son read from index cards. My daughter smiled the whole time in a way that never reached her eyes. I remember when my daughter was about 7, she drew a picture of our family, all 4 of us at the kitchen table. She'd given everyone a plate of food and a big crayon smile. She handed it to me at the door. I was leaving for a Saturday morning meeting, and she said, "Daddy, that's you at the head." She'd drawn me the biggest plate. I thought that was wonderful. I took out the disposable camera I kept in my bag for client events, and I photographed it. I never developed the roll. It's in a shoebox in the hall closet. I haven't looked for it. Her graduation was on a Thursday. I had a client call that went over. I told myself I'd only miss the processional. I told myself she'd understand. I drove 40 minutes with the phone still hot in my hand from the call, and I walked into the back of that auditorium. And the air hit me. Cheap folding chairs and someone's gardenia corsage, and the particular staleness of a room packed with people who had arrived on time. I found her from the back. She was already holding the diploma, already past the stage. She was standing with 3 friends, and she was laughing, really laughing. Her head tilted back, and I felt this rush of relief because I thought, she's happy. She doesn't even know I was late. It's fine. And then she scanned the crowd. It lasted maybe 3 seconds. Just her eyes moving across the room slowly, the way you do when you're looking for a specific face. Her smile stayed on. Her chin was up. She was still half laughing from whatever her friend had said. And her eyes moved across the room. And they moved across me. And they kept going. Not past me with hurt. Not past me with anger. Just past me. The way your eyes move past a stranger. I stood very still. The woman next to me was crying and taking photographs. and I stood there in the back of that auditorium, and I understood something that I have never said out loud to another person until right now. She hadn't stopped looking for me that day. She had stopped looking for me years before that. Somewhere between the missed recitals and the birthday dinners. I was late too, and the Saturday mornings. I left before she woke up. At some point, she had simply done what children do when they learn the lesson you are teaching them. She adjusted. She stopped saving a place for me in her eyes because I had taught her, one absence at a time, that I wouldn't be in it. I stood in the back of that auditorium, and I watched my daughter laugh with her friends, and I realized I had not missed her childhood. Something worse had happened. She had completed her childhood, and I wasn't in it. Not as a ghost, not as a whole. I just wasn't a factor she'd planned around anymore. I found her after we hugged. She smelled like unfamiliar perfume. I told her I was proud of her. She said, "Thanks, Dad," and introduced me to her friends. And the afternoon moved on the way afternoons do. I never told my wife what I saw. I never told anyone. I put it in the bag with the envelope, and I carried it to the next meeting. That bag sits on my kitchen chair right now. Same chair, every morning. 40 years of habit. Nowhere to go anymore. I've been retired for 6 years, but the bag is on the chair. I don't know how to have a morning without it. The dog's collar is on the hook by the door. He died 2 years ago. Old age. Went quietly, the way good dogs do. I haven't moved the collar. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the only thing in this house that proves something here knew me. Really knew me. Not the version of me I performed at dinner on the nights I made it home. The actual me, the tired one. The one who sat on the kitchen floor. Some nights because the chair felt like too much effort. He'd come sit next to me on the floor. Didn't ask why. Just came. I look at my phone most mornings. My daughter's name is in there. Last time I called her was 14 months ago. 4 minutes and 12 seconds. I know because I checked. I don't know what we talked about. Something logistical. Something that needed to be said and got said, and that was that. The envelope is on the table now. I took it out of the bag last week. First time in 22 years it's seen daylight. It's more yellow than I remembered. I still haven't opened it. I tell myself I'm going to, but I think I know why I haven't. I didn't fail to open it. I failed to earn the right to. She drew that smile on my face at the kitchen table when she was 7 years old, because she still believed I deserved it. Opening it now feels like taking something I don't have the standing to take. Now I'm talking to you, not to make you feel sorry for me. You shouldn't. I made every choice with both hands. I'm talking to you because you're sitting there thinking this is a sad story about somebody else, and it is not. Stop what you're doing right now and go find out what your kid's favorite song is. Not their favorite when they were little. Right now, this week. The one they've been listening to on repeat. If you don't know it, that is your answer. That is where you are on the map. You think love is implicit. You think they know. You think the mortgage and the groceries and the college fund speak for themselves. They don't speak. They are silent. And kids learn to be fluent in silence faster than you think. There will be a graduation. There will be a crowd. And there will be 3 seconds when their eyes move across a room. Make sure they stop. The dog didn't need me to deserve it. He just loved me anyway. Your kids are still capable of that. Right now. Today. They are still capable of that. But that window is not open forever. I promise you it is not open forever. I have a sealed envelope on my kitchen table and a call on a hook and a phone. I don't call often enough. Don't build a life that fits in an envelope you never open.